Osta, Sonhin Yeyi Dichla, do you call the E? Ayashdi, Gana Yegi, Dagwatoa. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Red Road East. I'm your host, Feerce Truth Seeker. Today, we'll discuss a controversial topic within the East Coast Indigenous community, and the topic is paper genocide and the disconnect between East Coast, Plains Indians, and other tribes. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Osio, we're back. So now we'll be joined with a guest who goes way back with Fear's Truth Seeker. And not only is our guest my godmother, but she's also an activist, clan mother, historian, dancer, and I'm sure I'm leaving out a few more things because her bio is just that extensive. So, without further ado, we will now be joined with Firebird Graywolf. Firebird.
Osio,
Oseo.
Osio, how are you, mate? To heed
Good.
you.
Yeah, Tohiju. Osta. Tohiju.
Asta.
Yeah, I'm great. I'm great. And yourself?
Oh, Asta, fine. Thank you. Blessings, Anigido.
Great. So let's before we start, tell the viewers a little bit about your attribute, your name, Firebird Graywolf. Tell us a little bit about
Well,
it.
well, traditionally, the phoenix bird is incorporated in much of the teachings of the Cherokee. Um, they even have a paper called the Phoenix. We basically adopted the Firebird after the Greeks. And so that name was passed down to me. As far as the Gray Wolf part, I am Aniwaya, which is Wolf Clan. Historically, the Wolf Clan was the largest clan of all the 7 clans and the most fierce. So those names came together for my name, and I'm very honored. The teachings of my family and them naming me that greatness to help me even more so represent out in the community.
Great.
Wado.
All right. So how long have you been walking the red road?
Yeah, I've been walking the red road before I was born. I was raised in the culture. That's all I know. Basically, is to be indigenous, and I honor my blackness as well. And both are wonderful for my personal family. But as an individual, I was raised strictly the indigenous ways of Turtle Island.
Great. Um, so we have a lot of history going back even before the Red Road East television show and also the YouTube channel. long before the Red Road East, you and I were doing, a lot of things, bringing forth a lot of history about East Coast natives and stuff like that. And this is long before the Dane Callaways and, all the new
I
guys.
think actually, I don't mean to cut you off, but actually, a lot of those people were little kids.
Some of them weren't even
Many
born.
were children.
Some of them weren't even
We've been
born, like
doing this for
literally.
so long.
Yeah, that's right, and so these, we were doing a lot of interesting things. You talk about some of that stuff that we were doing.
Oh, we were researching the history, not known, hidden history, and debunking a lot of that false history being taught, and
Exactly.
the history being left out as well. And we came upon some great information, great pictures, great researching. I can't even explain how many years we've been doing it, but as I stated, a lot of the young people weren't even thinking about doing anything at that time. They were probably in kindergarten or maybe not even born. So this is new and exciting to them. It's old and exciting to you and I.
Very old to you and I.
Very old, very
Oh
old.
yeah, that's
I
true.
think we were actually the pioneers out there, and then a lot of people came on board
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
years
Because
later.
years later, I matter of fact, I remember seeing a lot of the images that we were putting up duplicated by other
Yes,
people who came later. And back then we didn't have all the computer technology now that you have, where you can do all the stuff with photos, and you can do the all the paper and cutting. So you had to literally cut with the scissors,
right,
and put
right,
collages
right.
together and stuff like that. And that's how you know that a lot of our stuff was duplicated, because you could actually see the scissor cuts.
Yeah, exactly,
The
exactly.
scissor cuts,
And some of the information that you were airing on YouTube at the time, it was so far back, a lot of that information has been removed.
A lot of that stuff has been removed off of YouTube. It's
You
very
might
true.
find some of your videos on the mound builders. A
Mm-hmm.
few of those videos are still up,
Yeah.
but a lot of the research that we did early in 2000 or whatever,
Yeah, yeah, we're
those
talking about 20,
videos
20 something
are
years ago that we started doing the videos. Yeah.
right,
Let alone
right,
all the research that we were doing even before that,
right,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And I was honored to help you with some information for your future book.
Right. That's
And
true.
when you were working on that, my daughter's almost 30. She was a little tiny thing. We
Yeah, I remember she was just
Now she's a mother of three children.
can you
She's
believe
almost
it?
30.
Yeah, she was like 9 years old or something like that. Man,
No,
I feel
actually,
old now.
I would say about 7. Yes, about 7 years old.
Man,
And we would take her to the park and let her play in there. We'd be sitting on the benches doing the research
doing the
and the
research. Yeah,
videotapes.
yeah, that's true. That's true. Man, it's amazing. And yeah, so just reminiscing on that. And you you do a whole lot of community work, a lot
Yes,
of activism, a lot
yes.
of cultural um, things along those lines.
Smithsonian
Besides,
affiliated
yeah,
program.
besides being a historian, um,
Right.
we're actually getting the wrap now. They're going to take a break.
Okay.
Okay. Um,
Okay.
so we're going to pause for a commercial break, and then we'll be right back.
Okay. Ooh-ah.
Okay, we're back with our guest and my godmother, Firebird Graywolf. Let us talk about the activism that
Okay.
you have been doing over the years. And let's make sure that you don't leave out the your role in the African burial ground ceremony.
Okay. Well, I'm
The quote
Cherokee and
unquote, the quote unquote African
yes,
American
the quote
burial.
unquote African burial ground. No, no disrespect to the ancestors, but actually that area in Lower Manhattan is a part of Lenape land, and they were instilled in those graves alongside of Lenape people. So there's a misconception that that was just Africans buried in that site, but it's not true. That was part of Lower Lenape land, and yes, some Lenape were also slaves, but they were buried there naturally after they died in their villages.
Right. And that is along the lines of the topic of the show, which is paper genocide. Uh,
Yes,
because a lot of times, as you know, our people were misclassified as African American, Black, and stuff like that, when in reality they were actually indigenous to the land.
yes, and it was actually kind of hush hush. But I was called in to do the prayers for the Lenape people buried there, along the famous Reverend Calvin Butts, who's located in Harlem. His church is in Harlem. He did for the African slaves. I did for the Lenape. And it didn't get a lot of publicity. So people actually still think that it's just an African burial ground, which is a part of what you're saying, paper genocide.
Now, talk a little bit about paper genocide and the also the disconnect between our history here on the East Coast and those of the plains and other parts of the Americas. How do we have that disconnect?
It's disconnected because on the East Coast, slavery began and it went on for a very long time, way before it got to the Middle West or the Southwest. So a lot of our brothers and sisters out there, they're getting better, don't get me wrong. They couldn't accept that Indians that look like us were actually Indian people. And it caused a big division between indigenous people against each other. And it still happens today. There's a lot of writings on the internet of groups that are denying anything that has to do with anything that's melanated. Also, on the other hand, there's a lot of groups that are guilty of the same process by denying lighter skinned Mongolian looking Indians. So it's a big battle there. When I was a child, there was no black Indian title. There was no white Indian title. Yes, there was redskin, but if it wasn't red, you were a half breed or a mixed breed. Now it's black Indians, and a lot of people are running wild with that title and taking it and adding history and leaving out history and changing history, and it's just terrible, terrible what we're doing to each other and dividing when we're actually all in the same battle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, honestly, no disrespect, but if anything happens where they want to march Indian people out again, it's going to be all of us that's going to be marched out. It's not
Exactly.
going to be your group is better than my group and my group is better than your group. The man up top in the White House uh, will not care about that situation of color line and hair texture and, you know, all the things that people are making so important to be indigenous these days, you know. And some people are actually discriminating also because of a money factor.
Mm,
They want a land that they feel someone else shouldn't have, and they want casinos as well.
mm. Wow.
And it's a sad situation.
I want to backtrack a little bit to something you were saying just a little while ago. So you have actually been, and I know you complained about this, you had actually been discriminated against by darker skinned indigenous people as well.
Yes, when I was young, that wasn't such a situation, but now uh, some people say, "Oh, well, you're not indigenous. You have the Mongolian fold in your eyes."
Oh my goodness.
So
That's
you're
ridiculous.
Siberian and you're not one of us. We're indigenous to this land. So I say to them, well, you know, even if you don't feel the Siberian trait has been here longer than your trait, Siberian indigenous still have been here for thousands of years. So they're
Hmm.
just as much indigenous as you.
And the main thing is that the two intermixed.
To intermix, there's different phenotypes of indigenous people. I mean, you don't have to take my word or your word. They can look at old pictures, they can look at old drawings. Different groups have different looks, hair textures, skin textures, and you know, you're making it a whole new history.
Right. It's
Just
just gone amok, you know.
it's going amok, you know, and in the long run, like I said, if it comes down to all of that, I'm speaking as an elder. Hey, we're all going to be marched again on the Trail of Tears if that's the case. They're not going
Mhm.
to, you know, oh, you're better, you know, than that one over there. They're not going to care.
Yeah.
So you should try to get along and stick together. Just be proud of who you are. I know that it's very painful. You have to prove to so many people who you are, but don't become like those people and put the next person down. Yes, I have the Mongolian folds, but shoot, that could be Olmec. You know, it
Yeah,
doesn't
because the Olmec,
necessarily have to be
they had
from.
Olmecs with the folds too. Yep.
Yes, exactly. So, we should try to get along better and look at the bigger picture. You know, if you
Yep.
think you're doing it so you're going to get a piece of land, I doubt that very seriously because only certain groups that they feel they have to monitor for certain titles in America, they're only going to allow certain amount of indigenous people to get benefits that they want them to have or that's needed. Everybody's not going to get it. So if
Yeah.
you're doing it for that reason. A lot of people are doing it
N-
for that reason.
not to cut
I,
you off, Firebird, but I'm looking at the time, and
okay.
we have like 15 seconds until your song. So for the viewers, Firebird is going to throw down with some singing for us. Okay.
Well, it's not really singing. It's just a little woman's lullaby to sing to children, and I hope that the melody catches on to someone out there, and they can calm down and relax as if they were a child.
Yeah. So you don't have a drum on you, right? You said you needed some
No,
accompaniment.
no, no.
You want to just do the song as it is, or you want me to play something on the table, or
Just a beat.
okay?
Way out, way out, way out, way oh. Way out, way out, way out, way. Way out, way out, way out, yeah, yo. Way out, way out, way out, way. Way out, way out, way out, way. Way out, way out, way out, yeah, yo. Way out, way out, way out, way. Way out, way out, way out, way. Way out, way out, way out, yo.
All
What
right. Yeah.
it's a little calmer.
Yeah. Yeah. Um. So tell us a little bit about how you throw down at a powwow. You do some serious dancing. Tell the viewers, I know, but tell the viewers about, what type of dancing you do, and what style of singing you do as well. The difference between northern and southern and things of that nature.
Okay, it's simple. I was a champion and back in the day. I'm a Eastern blanket dancer is my specialty. It's a woman's dance. It can symbolize her growth from childhood, well, actually a baby, to childhood, young adult, and mature woman. And it's done, and the story is told the way that you move with the blanket. So that's my specialty. I dance women's traditional. I used to dance jingle, but people, for some reason, they love my Eastern blanket dance. It was
Oh yeah.
gifted. Thank you. It's gifted by the Algonquin tribes such as Shinnecock, Narragansetts, Pequoks, Montauk's, etc., Matinacocks. We all do it up on the East Coast at the powwows. So, guys, come on out and join us at the powwows in New York. Shinnecock is in September, and there's Queens Farm. There's many powwows. You could come and enjoy yourself and join in the dancing. The song I just did was round dance flavor, which is a unity dance where we all join in a circle and hold hands, and we dance in a circle. So come on out. You'll have loads of fun. The difference between northern and southern singing: northern sings an octave falsetto higher than southern singers, which they sing lower. It also comes from different tribes had different types of singing. Even women can play on some drums, such as I did, like a unity drum. So now we borrow from each other. Northern people might do Southern style, and vice versa. But I sing very high, and my style of singing, I prefer Northern to Southern. But that's where Iron Feather comes into play. That
Oh yeah. So
was
let's give some well actually we're gonna have to cut it there because
okay.
they're giving us the wrap. We're gonna have to do a part 2 and have you come back,
Okay.
and we'll talk about the group that we were a part of that yourself and my cousin had actually started
Right.
back in the days, Iron Feather.
I
And
want to give a shout out to your technicians today for trying to work with me to get me on your show. They're a great
yeah,
guy, young girl and guy. Thank you very much, guys. Wado.
okay. So on that note, we're gonna have to call it for the day. Okay, and until the next time, Doda da Gahan E.
Donadaga, honey.